I think it's fair to say that it has been a while since I've been on this channel now, and a lot has changed as you can see. Balding has caught up to me, so my hairline's kind of been getting cooked. I ended up shaving the head because of some psychological attachment I had to my hometown that I associated with my hair, and we are now in Montenegro with my team for the month. And because you guys tend to love numbers, and that tends to do better on the YouTube algorithm, this month so far, once the rest of the payments come in, we should do 34K minimum. Ideally, things go well, we can end up 50, maybe 40. We'll see what happens. And as we push everything forward, we could look at, doing maybe 100K next month, which has been the goal for a while. We'll see if it happens. I don't want to have mental limitations or say no or say yes. As long as I do everything I need to do, we'll get there. But I'm recording this to update you guys on everything that's been going on, because the last time I recorded, I was in Bulgaria, and to be fair, a lot has changed. Like in Bulgaria, I started off, I think the first or second week, I felt like I cracked the code to the universe. I figured out everything and I knew exactly what I had to do to get to where I want to go. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, because, there's probably going to be like 10 people watching this. That went south very quickly because I was in Bulgaria with the pure intention of depriving myself entirely of social attention, and I did so for the most part. I met a friend of mine for one day, or one night, I should say, and after that, I was alone for the entire thing. And it's not to say that I was alone, it's to say also that I felt very, 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 very alone. As in, nobody loved me, was the state of mind I was in for a minute. I put myself in a full deprivation tank, essentially, for a month straight, where I had no human connection, no human contact, and I was very desperate for any source of like real dopamine. The month was the best month I could have ever asked for. As in, we didn't hit an all-time high month, to be honest. We did like 23 maybe K, 23,000. Obviously, after I paid my team, after I had some expenses and stuff like that, I made a decent amount, I guess, but it was a very difficult month. And I had this epiphany moment the other day. Now, I'm religious, I'd like to say. I try to go to church on Sundays, and I try to, say prayer when I eat and all these things, but for someone to be born in hell, or if you're born in hell, it seems normal. And maybe this is a bit of like or not anomaly, just outrageous example. In Bulgaria, when I was there for the month, it was very, very, very boring, right? As in, like, there wasn't much going on. And then it was very depriving of everything. And I came here, and I'll just go through it. I came here after Bulgaria, and I was so excited to get real dopamine, where I was here obviously with my team for the month, and there's beautiful mountains in the back, there's beautiful women around, and I had just shaved my head. Like, I fully felt disattached from my hometown because my hair was holding me back, because I started growing it out when I started dating my girl, my ex. And I was very deprived of human validation, is fair to say, that when I came out here, I was excited to speak and have real conversations and speak to people and, be human. Because as humans, we need to speak to people. A lot of people put themselves in a deprived state for multiple months. I'm a very social creature. If I do so, I will crash down. I genuinely, it's so fucked. I need human interaction as the type of person I am. So I did so, and here's kind of what happened. There's a very fine line between fixing your vices and going overkill. And what I mean by that is, recently I've adopted the state of mind of life maxing, if you will, of becoming better in every aspect of your life, getting in better shape, becoming leaner, becoming stronger, getting better at speaking to women, making more money, whatever it is, not in any particular order. Now, the business is technically performing better on paper. Do I feel great about it? No, because I feel like we should be further ahead than we are. Have I addressed the bottlenecks? After a while, yes. So I know what I need to do now, and I know what I need to do to push the needle forward to make more money. In regards to personal life, or let's say, like, I don't know, let's say women, for example, my biggest issue for a long, long time, which I've become very conscious of recently, was my low self-esteem when it comes to women. And I'll explain this as we go in this video, because I think this is going to be quite a long one. But what I've come to realize recently is the way I was raised and the way I grew up, women felt so far away and female validation became a very rare thing. As in, I went through so much rejection as a kid, and this is what I'm starting to realize recently, that it really took a toll on me. So when I came to Montenegro, I was hit with so much dopamine, and I'm in couture for context. So there's young people, there's like party hostels. I stayed in a party hostel for the first night because my Airbnb wasn't ready, and I just got hit with this wave of like emotion of like, this is great, life is amazing. And it was the start of the month, and I knew we would do well, and I got distracted is a fair understatement. As in the first night, I went out. Obviously, I was here on my own because my creative director Gabriel wasn't here yet. Someone part of my team, and the other boys that's part of my team weren't here yet either. So it was just me, and I said, "Fuck it! Like I'm just gonna stay at a hostel." And it's cheaper than other accommodation. Why not? I used to do hostels last year when I went solo traveling, and I had a good time, and I met a lot of people, and I realized there are a lot of young people here, and we did that. And then the day after, my roommate came, and we went to a barbecue. Or I went out that night. I had a good time. Whatever. Did a pub crawl for the first time in a while. I'm not a huge advocate for alcohol. My dad is on meds for life because of his alcohol addiction at a pastime. So he had a lot of alcohol. Now he's on meds for life because he had to go to the hospital. We all had a scare a few years back, etc. And now, I don't know if you guys can hear the noise in the background. If you can, I apologize. But now, I'm not a huge advocate for alcohol. I've never been one. I'm not a huge fan of it. And obviously, being Eastern European, sort of, my parents are from Moldova. Like, at a young age, you can drink if you want. They don't really care. Like, they'll drink with you. We did a bit of that. This video is not meant to be a trauma dump, but it is what it is. This is me documenting my journey, and if you like it, beautiful. If you don't, then I guess you can watch somebody else. Like, I'm here to document my journey and my traumas so I can progress and grow out of it. I'm actually going to put my AirPods in because it's so fucking loud that I can't even think about what I'm trying to think about. So, yeah. But I came here with the intention of locking in with my team. And how things have gone so far have been, I got distracted for a while because the first night we went out, the second night we went to the barbecue at the hostel because me and Gabriel had no food in our Airbnb. So we went to a hostel and just got, like, they had a barbecue thing. Just pay €10, eat as much as you want. And that night, I saw this girl, she saw me, we were kind of making eye contact throughout the entire night. Nothing really came out of it. I think she was hoping I'd go out. But I didn't because, I'm not a huge advocate for going out. But the night after, when Chris, Teddy, and Seb, the other guys that are part of my team, and obviously we're really good friends as well, because we're together for the month, we decided to go out. And then I saw her, and fun enough night, right? I brought her back to mine. We did some stuff. We just had a good night in general, and I took care of her. I made sure she got some rest, even though she didn't want to. I brought her back. She was a volunteer for the month. She just started, right? And I brought her back. I got her a drink. I got her water. I made sure she was okay. And I kind of got distracted from there. And this is kind of traumatic, or like a trauma dump from my end. But growing up with very low self esteem with women, I never understood the process of a vetting process with women or missions. And I'll relate this back to business. I obviously run a coaching company for appointment setting, and I also run a recruitment and management agency. Let me put it in the format of a coaching company. If you give a prospect or a lead a free resource, you cannot expect them to have their back against the wall and go all in with that free resource, right? Meaning that you can't go on a date with a girl once or like make out with her once and expect her to treat it as if it's a relationship right after that. But for whatever reason, when I get deprived of, or no, this is what I tend to do. I'll start talking to a girl once in a while, once every like few months, and I'll get like too deep in. I'll feel good about it at the beginning, and then after, I'll start seeking more validation. So maybe we kiss. I feel really good about it, and then I seek more. Not sex, not any of that, but just deeply rooted human validation that I was deprived of growing up. So I seek it, and I crave it, and I desire it, etc., etc., etc. And when you don't have that, you get to feel really shitty. And I know maybe some of you watching this feel the same way. But the thing is, what tends to happen after the first moment is you don't even know what you want. Really, you just get trapped in this void of continuous deprivation of dopamine, craving of dopamine, whatever you want to call it, and you just feel fucking atrociously bad. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I've been rejected since I was very young. I felt like shit since I was quite young, like when it came to women. And I got better at communication and speaking to them as I did sales and, as I had a girlfriend. And all these different things, but I never got out of this trap. And what it made me realize, because I've spoken to a lot of people about this female dopamine stuff, and I've become a lot more clear on how to manage it and undergo it so I can get out of this void or this trap or this hole I'm in that I seem to get into every few months. And it's, first of all, you need to approach women with the mentality of, do you like them, first of all? It's a vetting process. Do you like them? Do you even want to entertain the idea of doing something with them? And then if you say yes, you do entertain the idea, and let's say you go on a coffee date. You go on a coffee date with the pure intention of seeing if you like them. And if you like them, cool. If you don't like them, you don't like them. It's fine. Whatever it is. This is an example. It could be a kiss. It could be sex. It depends on what your aspirations or your desires are. Call it a mission. And after you go on that first mission, now you wait a few days. You let the lead get nurtured, if you will, in sales. As in, like, you don't give them more straight away. You just wait. And then you decide, I had the mission. This was my desire. I got the dopamine I wanted from kissing or whatever it was. Do I want to have another mission? And if you do, you go on another coffee date or whatever it is, etc., etc., etc. You cannot go into it with the mentality, which I tend to do, of let me see what happens. And you go into it, now all of a sudden you feel good for a day, and then every other day after that you feel fucking horrible. Because what I've come to realize is when I started dating my ex, I was about to go solo traveling for a couple months, and I had 2 more weeks left before I left, and I was like working for half of that because we worked in the same supermarket. And she asked me, like, do you like me? And I was like, yeah, of course, like, yeah. She was like, well, then why haven't you asked me to do anything? And I was like, well, I'm leaving in 2 weeks. What's the point? She's like, oh, why not? And I was like, cool, let's do it. And then we scheduled some date and we did some stuff, and it went well. The first date was great. The second date was horrible. The third date was great again. But I got trapped right into what I'm talking about. I went into it with not knowing what the intention was. It was good. I felt great. And then I seeked more and more and more and more and more, but I didn't even know what the fuck I was seeking. I just seeked some form of validation. And because she was in the same boat as me, or at least I think so, where she was deprived of like validation growing up, she had the same clinginess thing that I had, and we fell into a relationship, right? But generally, what tends to happen when you do what I'm talking about, because a lot of guys have it, I've come to learn, you put a lot of pressure on the other individual, and it makes their life very inconvenient. It's not fair to them, and it's also very shitty for your state of mind. What I'm saying, because we're 12 minutes in and I'm just talking about my psychology on women, is this happened to me at the start of the month. And it just stopped happening the other day when I decided to come to terms, and I made some mistakes, and I made the person not feel the greatest, and we had some good moments, we had some bad moments, but the whole point being, one of my vices was very much low self-esteem, and it's something I'm working on progressing now. And I got distracted this month. Unfortunately, I have a really good team that was able to keep the ship up. And I still did a lot of work, and I still did what I needed to do. And I'm still getting in significantly better shape. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm eating healthier. I'd say I look better than ever. I've gotten a tan. I know the lighting here is horrible, but I feel really, really, really good in every aspect of life. My mannerisms are dialed. I got exactly what I wanted out of Bulgaria. Now I have social attention and dopamine, which feels fucking amazing. I went on a run today, then I went right into a swim, and then back on a run, and then I came back and I just did some work. And I know exactly what the problems are in my business, so I can get us to 50, then 100K. I know exactly what I need to do. Everything is great and everything is fruitful, but my mental was playing tricks on me for a few weeks. I wanted to make sure that I could go out, because we went out like 3 times now, maybe, I don't know, something like that. And I said, I want to have the balance. I want to make sure business is priority, health is priority, fitness is priority, sleep is now getting better and stuff like that too. But like I'm using this as an opportunity to develop my vices of like, getting better at speaking to women. So in the future, when it's time to meet my wife, I'll be able to do so. And it's very easy to fall into the trap of like doing it too much. I don't want to say I did it too much. Maybe it's an ego thing. I'm not totally sure. I don't think it's an ego thing. But yeah, I definitely could have not eased off, but understood the mental side of things more, which I've now come to understand, which is now helping me progress. It's been a good month so far. It's the 20th of June, and I'm going to Moldova. Today is Friday. Tomorrow is Saturday. So tomorrow we're going to take as a Sunday because I don't let myself do any thinking or any work. I don't let myself do any thinking in regards to business or work on Sundays because when I was in a relationship, one of my biggest weaknesses was I was too absorbed by the business. And now that I'm in a position where I'm not in a relationship, I want to fix up on my issues so I can develop a level of discipline I haven't had before. And for me, that looks like, sorry if you guys heard that, there's just a car racing by. For me, that looks like basically being able to balance both health, fitness, all the priority stuff, but more importantly as well, making sure I don't always get absorbed by my business or phone or work. So I don't let myself do any of that on Sundays. But I'm traveling Sunday to go to Moldova, which is where my parents are from, with my mom and my little brother. I'm going to meet them there. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow we're taking it as a Sunday. And yeah, and this is quite funny to say because we're actually not just here with my team, we're also here with one of my students and very, very good friends. His name is Clay. And Clay started off setting a few months ago, and last month he made about 6.2K USD. And the funnier thing is, he actually saw this channel, decided to reach out to me on Instagram. Then we started working together. I started coaching him. And last month he made 6.2K, and he's going to be on track to make all time high months more and more. I'm not sure how he's doing this month, but his skill set's progressing. Soon he's going to be choosing the next vehicle to get out of setting to make more money. And it's funny to think that he watched one of these videos that you guys are watching now, messaged me on Instagram, and here he is today with us in fucking Montenegro, genuinely living the life, living a lot of people's dreams, which I do not take for granted. I'm very grateful for the position we're in. Very, very grateful. And I'm thankful to God, and I'm thankful for my parents, and I'm thankful for putting myself in a position where I'm forced to grow, because we're revamping some stuff for the business that's going to get us to 50 and 100K per month. And they're difficult things to do, and they're things I don't really want to do, but I know I need to do so, because I said this the other day, and I need to record more because I say so much like good advice once in a while. But I asked someone, what would I not be willing to do? And it was actually Clay I asked when we were sat having a deep, meaningful conversation at DMC last night. Just like a long conversation about life. I said, what would I not be willing to do? Because I've dropped out, I moved out, I broke up with my girl, I did everything I had to do to make the sacrifices to get to where I want to go. What would I not be willing to do? And he said, what would you not be willing to do? I said, I don't know, probably like, I wouldn't want to kill my parents, right? I made a joke. But what I'm saying is I've already done all the hard shit, now it's just doing the annoying shit. Like, figuring out my content stuff. Not with this, don't get offended, but like the personal content stuff for the business account, so we can attract more clients for the coaching company. And yeah, Montenegro's been amazing. We're in Couture. The view is amazing. I know the lighting is horrible on me. I strongly suggest it if you're considering coming out here. And I'm gonna force myself to record more content here because I really like documenting the journey. I wrote a journal the other day for like a long time, like an hour. And before that, like 2 weeks before that, I wrote out my why or my thesis on why I'm doing what I'm doing for like 2 hours. I really like writing, and I really like expressing my thoughts, if you will. And I need to get better at doing it on camera too, because when I look back, I want to see the video format, but I also want to maybe inspire people throughout the way, because a few months ago, I wasn't doing shit, I wasn't making shit, and my life was very different to what it is now, which is tough to say because nobody wants to admit change, even if it's good change. Nobody wants to say things are different because you get so used to the adaptation and the growth that it feels like normality. Like you can take somebody out of the streets today and put them in Miami next week, and they'll get used to it within a few weeks, right? Or a few months. But it's like now, I need to make sure I don't take for granted the position I'm in, because we're in a very good spot and we can make or break the rest of our lives. And I'm dabbling in some property investing. I might be getting a mortgage in Dubai in the next few months. Like, I'm playing my cards right, and I'm really excited to see where we go, because this might be the moment where we change our lives forever. So, yeah. Now somebody's gonna clip that, and then it's gonna show me in a Lamborghini, and then I'm gonna be the final big boss course seller on fucking Instagram or TikTok. I'm trolling, but I appreciate you guys checking in and watching this video, especially if you've been a continuous viewer. I'm sure it's weird to see my hair off, but I associated it with growth and getting out of the mental state I was in Bulgaria of, nah, I don't like to use the word depression, because I never had depression, and I know depression's horrible, but getting myself out of that growth stage of feeling attached to my hometown, and my hair was the only thing that held me back and made me feel like I was still part of my hometown. And now I'm out, and it's refreshing because I know my back's against the wall, and I know I need to grow and do better, do bigger things, and make something that's bigger than me. I'm really excited to see where we go, because I've realized how proficient I am and how well I could do things, that I'm not built to operate a business that's doing 50K or 100K a month. I'm built to operate a business that's doing 50 or 100 million a month. And I genuinely believe it with all my heart. So I just need to scale this up and then see what happens from there, and most importantly, take care of my family in the meantime. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate you checking in. I appreciate you watching. And yeah, life is good. Life is good. Peace.